Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I'm Sean and this is In The Mixer, episode 137 of our Isle of Man series. If you haven't gone back and checked out yesterday's episode from Monday, go and check that one out. Mainly because it brings you up to speed with where we're sitting in the league at the moment. We're not going to waste too much time. We've got two massive games and hopefully, fingers, toes, arms, eyes, ears crossed, the opportunity to get 6 points and really kickstart our week a little bit. Let's jump straight in. So, as you guys can see, I always do the wrong side, just above my head here. We're sitting in 7th spot. We've dropped out of the top 6 for the first time. Now, I think 7th is technically still a Europa League spot. The reason it's not showing as far as qualification is concerned is because there are so many teams that are in Europe, but are sitting in lower positions in the division itself. So, for example, Southampton's still in the Champions League, but sitting down in 9th place. I think technically they can still take one of the European qualification spots. There's cup competitions. There's a bunch of different things. But we want to make sure we do all we can to finish in those top 6 positions, try and get Europa League football again. And probably the next month, the next 6 weeks or so is critical to us picking up as many points as humanly possible to try and get back into the European conversation. If we go back to yesterday's episode, we of course beat Moneybags Brighton away from home 2-1 in a very good performance. All Barbosa getting both goals in that one. And then losing them also Moneybags, Man City, two of the richest teams in the competition at the moment. We then rotated quite heavily. I played the reserve side and didn't make any subs. As we beat Championship Rotherham 2-1, it was a bit of a struggle, but their goal was one that they pulled back in the 70th minute. We were pretty much comfortable all the way through. Then had a tough game against Tottenham, a very good Tottenham side. Alison Vicente, one of the better strikers in the game. And he was excellent against us. He got a goal and an assist in a very good performance. Look at these technical attributes. They are just phenomenal. And then another tough game against high-quality London opposition. Chelsea came to the Isle of Man and they got a very late goal to break hearts again. That's twice now. They opened the season with a phenomenal strike in the 95th minute, and then they've done it to us again late on in the return fixture. Karamoko for them getting a goal in the 92nd minute. Tom, also a player that seems to enjoy scoring against us quite a little bit. We then played Aston Villa away from home. This one was really 2 points dropped. A 0-0 draw, just couldn't find that cutting edge. Barbosa struggled to create. Osorio didn't do much when he came on. Rivera struggled and Bunga struggled. So I think they either dealt with our defence really well or we just had a bad day at the office in terms of finishing our chances. And it might be worth noting, maybe we did make a slight mistake letting Elliot Bloor leave for Man United. He might have been someone that could have come on and found a bit more of a cutting edge. So as we look towards season 17 and this upcoming off season, we probably need to try and get some better finishing ability in those wide areas. But I've got a couple ideas, a couple of things that locked away we want to try and do. It does mean today we're going to play Leeds away from home. They're down in 14th spot, and then Norwich in 16th. We've got a really good run of fixtures. We play Southampton who are in 9th, probably the biggest side that we play in March. We've got Europa League knockout rounds, which the draw is still to come. We've got Blackburn, who are down in 20th spot, Newcastle, who are in 8th, and Fulham in 18th. Realistically, we want to try and get as many points as possible in this little run here to get ourselves back up in and around the Champions League conversation. And then we do have a bit of a tough run with United and Arsenal back-to-back, but Everton, Leicester, West Ham, Bournemouth, and then Liverpool at home. All winnable games to finish off the season. So I don't think we're going to go undefeated throughout that run or anything, but we definitely need to try and put ourselves in the best possible position, and that starts with 6 points in the games today. Now, as far as the squad's concerned, we do have a couple of knocks. Selahattin Berber picked up a knock in the FA Cup game. He played pretty well, got a goal from the penalty spot. Peacock working his way back to full fitness, which is great. He might even be back for the second game this episode. Medjugorje should be back as well, and Esteban also on his way back. We're not going to risk them for the game against Leeds. We're going to go with a fully fit lineup. I'll walk you through those players in a moment. And tactically, we're just going to go with our positive structure away from home. And then when we return for the home match, we're going to go to attacking and really try and put our foot down a little bit. Magic editing though, let's jump forward and look at the two lineups. Right, just like that, we're about an hour ahead. They're playing a very similar structure to ours, a 4-2-3-1. It's not Bielsa's Leeds, it is Alex Neil's Leeds, who I think previously managed like Birmingham or someone like that. We'll go through their lineup in a minute. It is a completely regen lineup, which we're seeing more and more of now 16 seasons into the league. We're going Mancini in goal. Mokhtar as the left-sided centre-back. He'll play alongside Isaac too, so we picked up during the off-season from relegated Bristol. He's done quite well. His development's been really good. Technical attributes are improving quite a bit. Mentally very strong as well, and physically fantastic. He's played pretty well in the games that he's played. He's made 2 FA Cup appearances, been excellent in both, a 7.2 average rating. This will be his Premier League debut, so hopefully we can get a good performance out of him. Carlos Andre will play at left wing back, Fontana at right wing back. They've both been excellent this season. Lyndon Henry will anchor midfield with Barbosa at the 10. Ortiz left wing, Winter right wing with Peacock out, and Rivera leading the line up top. Looking over at the Leeds squad, their captain here, the base midfield, Anibal Selico, Argentine midfielder, 1 cap to his name, only 22 years of age. Looks very good though, 4.5-star current ability and potential. Okay technical attributes, okay mental attributes, good physical attributes as well. 19 stamina, 18 decision making, 16 determination. He looks to be quite the deep lying playmaker. They picked him up direct from Boca a few seasons ago. They must have picked him up when he was relatively young. Yeah, only 5.5 million 4 seasons ago when he must have been around 18, so he looks to have progressed quite nicely and now wears the captain's armband for them. They've got Kadic on the left wing here, their leading assist maker for the season, 22-year-old Croatian international, 4-star current and potential ability. He looks decent as well. Very good technical attributes for a winger on support, 16 crossing, dribbling and first touch, very impressive. And physically decent as well, 17 acceleration and agility, 16 pace, 16 stamina. He will get up and down that left-hand side all day. In his second season, it looks like at Leeds, they picked him up from Monaco, who picked him up originally from Hajduk Split in Croatia. And maybe that's a location we need to be scouting a little bit more. They've got a couple of young players, nothing massive, but we might start to canvass Europe a little bit more broadly during this next off-season. Nilsson, we're going to have to keep an eye on at the 10, 24-year-old Brazil youth international, 4-star current and potential ability. And then they've also got leading the line up top, Kennedy, 24-year-old, or Patrick Kennedy, 24-year-old English international. I don't know why so many forwards in this division, in this database, wear the number 6. It's one of those things that drives me nuts. Players randomly wearing like number 3 if you're playing up front. We're going to jump into the dressing room. We're going to passionately say, great opportunity to show all the pundits have been right to back you up, and we'll end that team talk. And it has been kind of an additional challenge. We set ourselves the same bar this season to make Europa League. First highlight of the game here is actually starting. I'll come back to that thought in a minute. Kadic with the ball. We did talk about him in the build-up. Fontana with a good tackle, but then he jumped in on the second one and Kadic gets goal side. Someone's got to go to him, and thankfully the strike didn't have that much pace on it. Mancini does well to save and hold, but first, real highlight of the match goes the way it leads. We did focus this season on trying to get Europa League football, that top 7 finish, and we are on course for that, but the difficulty this year between last year when we did get Europa League is that we now have European competition during the week, which is taking away from the squad a little bit. Good run there from Kennedy, and thankfully Mancini again doing quite well to keep us in it. Early days, we're not having the best of luck in terms of stats. We're going to use demand more, just to give everyone some focus. There is a corner here. Selico with the header home. It's Anibal Selico with his 3rd for the season. We talked about him in the build-up, the captain. I don't call anything out as being particularly massive in terms of aerial ability, and it looks like just a ball into a mad scramble here. There's a few players around, and really we should be doing better. And Selico nods home beyond Mancini. It was going to take something special to beat him. And at least if things stay as they are, we know what our halftime team talk will be. They've got a wide free kick here though. Hopefully it's not 2. And Selico again with an opportunity in the air just over the crossbar. First real highlight in our final third, but it's one back by Leeds, and Valia, the right winger, is coming forward. Someone's got to come to him. It looks like a good recovery run there from Lind in midfield. Now Allen looks to stand the ball up towards Nilsson, and they've got 2. Third goal of the season for Nilsson. We're not in a great little run of form here. It might be time to do a bit of a tactical tweak and change some stuff up. But you can see ball back across here, finds Allen, and it's just out of the air. They're very much just hanging balls into the kind of penalty spot area, both from corners and from wide play. It's a good side foot finish from Nilsson, and he peels off towards the corner flag, and Ellen Road is likely rocking at the moment. Through 35 minutes, we're going to use demand more, and everyone seems focused, which is good. Let's try and get through to half-time at 2-0 down. 2 minutes to be added on at the end of the first half. We're through that time now as the referee calls half-time. So half-time, 9 shots, 7 on target, 37% possession for Leeds in their 2-0 lead. 3 shots, 1 on target, 63% of the ball for us. We need to use that ball more effectively. Aggressively, I expect to see a much better showing from you. Everyone's responded positively. And then we're also going to fire up a little bit and go to our attacking structure, push everyone on a little bit further, and hopefully try and find some overloads in areas to get us chances on goal. Wide free kick from Kadic. Ball back stick toward Valia, thankfully directly at Mancini. It had a bit of pace on it though. Mancini did very well to save and hold. He's had some good saves in these couple of highlights we've seen. It's not been a good performance from it though. We're through an hour mark now, so we're going to hit pause. And what are we going to do in terms of subs? Rivera struggling a little bit. We might bring on Mbungu, who's done pretty well in his couple of debut performances. Winter also struggling. We don't have a right midfielder on the bench, unfortunately. Carlos Andre struggling. Barbosa struggling. Ortiz struggling. Not a great performance from quite a few different players. We might just go with Barbosa coming off at Sorio for this first change. Then we might make the last one with about 10 minutes to go. Passionately, we'll say we've got faith in you. If we get one back, it'll turn the screws a little bit on Leeds, and maybe they'll crumble under that pressure. We've also used a get creative shout, which everyone's responded positively to, which is always great to see. But really, we need highlights, and we've got one here. Ortiz with the ball on the left-hand side. Skips past one challenge, cuts it back to Henri. Been quiet this game. Lind into Osorio. Now, Ortiz with the strike on the edge of the area. It's pinballing around, and then they do manage to scramble it away. First real shot in anger we've seen. It's taken us 70 minutes to get to that point. Leeds have now also made all 3 of their subs. We're into the 80th minute. We'll let this highlight play out, and then we're going to look at that last change. Carlos Andre finds Mokhtar. Valia has won it back off him. We need Mokhtar to be playing a bit better with Esteban out of the side. It was a good recovery run there from twos, and thankfully the drive well wide of the goal. Winter really struggling at the moment. What are we going to do here? Maybe we push Mbungu out to the right-hand side. He's not great in that role, but then we can bring on Phillips up top. Maybe we just mix it up, call him a complete forward. And let's also push the 2 wingers to attack. And why not the 2 fullbacks as well? Let's send them on attack as well. Let's just try and get the ball forward as much as we can. Passionately, I have faith in you. Get out there, make a difference. I'm going to quickly hit play. And then we're also going to use a demand more shout. We've got 10 minutes to try and recover 2 goals. Otherwise, this is again going to be a pretty poor run that we're having here in February. And it's another goal for Leeds. I'd say that's the sealer. Gonzalo Lazaro, excellent run there. And it was a good ball in from Temperini, an Argentine player that we looked at for a couple of different seasons. But just could never really get him to agree decent terms for us. And a good header from Lazaro as he again peels off towards the corner flag. This does see us drop down. Just sort of a brief look at the table there. I think we did go down into 8th spot. Raphael with the ball now. Lazaro out wide right to Celico. Gets into the box. Just stand him up, boys. Carlos Andre goes through but misses out. It's pinballing around again. And good save from Mancini before Andre saves everyone's bacon and gets it out. Very poor performance from quite a few different players. Valia's only on 5.5. Noticing there for Leeds, I feel like he's had a pretty decent performance. Henri sends a ball into the channel from Mbungu. He's got a lot to do from a wide area. And he goes to strike when he needed to look for the cut back towards Phillips. 3 minutes to be added on at the end of 90 minutes here. It's not been great from us today. And a 3-0 victory in the end for Leeds. 18 shots, 13 on target, 43% possession. 6 shots, 3 on target, 57% for us. Aggressively, we're going to say not happy with that result. And everyone's responded positively, which is good. We do have a full week before we play Norwich at home as well, which probably gives us a chance to maybe do like a couple of rest days, get everyone to reset a little bit, find some focus, and then get back to decent form. It does see us drop down to 8th. Newcastle actually leapfrog both ourselves and Tottenham. I think Tottenham might have dropped points today. They have. They lost 1-0 to Chelsea, 91st minute winner. It would have been a massive episode if we could have got 3 points and jumped back above them. Liverpool also drawing, kind of brings them back into our conversation a little bit, which is good. Kadic gets the man of the match award for Leeds, and Twos tells the press that I screamed at them, which is fair. And 5 matches in a row without winning. That's not a great run. Back to the game against Man City. I guess that FA Cup round they're not really including in league fixtures, but maybe we do need to make a bit of a tactical tweak. What we do have, and I might put it in this 3rd spot, we never use this counter-attacking tactic. I am going to pull out something from a different save, which is still a 4-2-3-1. It's this Dundee tactic that I've been using in an online save, a network save with some friends. We might just fix up the player roles in it, and at least it kind of resets everybody a little bit. And again, it's very attacking. It's pretty aggressive. We might just test it out, see how it goes. It's 2 D-line playmakers. You might see the 2 DLPs just exchange the ball between each other quite a bit. The idea is that they just pass between each other, hoping the defense commits a little bit and gets some additional space in behind. That's the theory in my head. It's been working pretty well in the network save, but again, it's always harder to tell how things are going to transition to different saves. And we need to do something. We need to rebound a little bit. 5 defeats in a row, or 5 games without a win, is not a great performance from the team. We do also probably have the opportunity to get some players back in. Peacock might be fit for the next one, so we might bring him back in for Winter, and we'll try and get Winter on the bench as well. Esteban should be back. Not that Twos did anything particularly wrong in that match. And Medjid will be back into full fitness, but I think Carlos Andre has just developed a little bit further this season than Medjid, so we'll let him continue out there. I'm also going to use those rest days. Everyone that's intended to start, we're just going to give them 2 days rest just to hopefully maybe refresh them a little bit, get everyone back to a decent run of form. You can see here, Lil Barbosa's not played well over the last 5 games. Ortiz not played particularly well. The challenge with that is that we let Law go. Rivera having a poor run also. So there's a few players that we potentially want to try and have pick up in the next game, but I guess a home match to Norwich and playing in an attacking style and a bit of a refresh of the tactic might be the kick that they all need to push on a little bit further. Magic editing though, we're going to jump forward to that match now. Right, just like that, we are a week ahead. Only the one change during the course of the week. Mokhtar picked up a bit of a knock, and he didn't play particularly well last time out either. So we'll bring on Warburton, just on the left-hand side at fullback. A player that we've had for a few seasons now, hasn't quite progressed, I think, to the level that we wanted him to, but still only 19, still a wonder kid status, actually playing against his old club, which might benefit us a little bit, and hasn't quite improved this season the way that I'd hoped he would. But more than capable of Premier Division level, 3-star current ability is good enough for this division and this league. Otherwise, Peacock comes back in, Esteban comes back in, and while I'm denied about it, we'll leave Barbosa, Ortiz and Rivera up there. I think this is where they recapture their form rather than worrying about dropping them too much. Looking at Norwich, they're also playing a 4-2-3-1. It's a very popular formation in this year's game from the looks of things. We've got a few different players, one that I'll highlight every single time, but we'll go with Sergio Mina first, 29-year-old Chilean left back. He's their captain. 3-star current and potential ability. Not super great, but he's got some traits in terms of mental attributes here as well. 20 leadership, 16 teamwork, 16 concentration, 19 bravery, 17 aggression, 16 determination. He's a mentalist, of course. On quite a bit a week, 105k a week. We're not quite at that level yet, but we haven't been in the Premier League as long as Norwich have. Sean Ainsley is our top goal scorer for the season, 23-year-old English left winger. We looked at him for quite a few different seasons. When he first left Tottenham, we were trying to pick him up when he went to Wolves. Then when Wolves got relegated, Norwich scooped him up for £55 million. Was a wonder kid for ages. I think he was a wonder kid at about 17 years of age and has continued his development nicely into one of the better left wingers in the game. Escalante, the number 10, 28-year-old Honduran international. You don't see that one that often. 3.5-star current, ability and potential. Looks okay, nothing super spectacular technically or mentally, but physically very, very good. And at 28 in his prime a little bit. Pereira, again, a forward wearing the number 6 up top, 29-year-old Brazilian, 1 cap to his name early on in his career. Looks like he came through the Chelsea Academy. Had a brief spell back in Brazil on loan and has been at Norwich now for a good few seasons. And Martinez, is this the one that I'm thinking of? No, it's not. I thought it might be the Martinez that was previously at Bournemouth, who's very, very good. This one's also not bad. 30 cap Argentine, international, 22 years of age. He looks alright, but again, not quite the finished article, just more a potential player. Some good technical attributes though. Mentals and physicals need a little bit of work, but otherwise pretty decent. Aggressively, we're going to say you've got to put in improved performance here to put an end to a poor run of results, and I'm also going to calmly tell Rivera that I've got faith in him. He had a very good start to the season, and that kind of carried through. And usually what kind of tended to happen in previous seasons of the Isle of Man save is that we'd have an okay start to the season and get through to pretty much the 1st of January and then pick up a whole bunch of points. It hasn't quite happened the same way in the Premier Division. We seem to drop off a little bit in and around that Christmas period, likely just because of the additional European and Cup fixtures that we're in at the moment. First highlight of the game, Warburton exchanges pass with Henry and Andre in a triangle, making that number 16 on that right-hand side. I think it's Martinez, do doggies. Mancini finds Esteban now. Let's make him commit. Now Lind works it over to Peacock, who's probably our best player in 1v1 situations. He skips past one challenge, gets into this right-hand side, and he goes for power instead of maybe getting to the byline and looking to cut it back. But at least first highlight has gone our way. It took us 70 minutes against Leeds to get a single highlight, so I guess we take that as being a little bit of an improvement. We've got 10 minutes remaining in the half. We need to get creative. We try and snag something, but there is a highlight here for Norwich. Flick on header by Oral, one of their defenders, thankfully over the crossbar. I think Mancini had it covered. Ortiz has picked up a knock, but have to keep an eye on that in the second half, and Barbosa has played the ball to him here. Back to Andre, now Henry. What can he work from the base of midfield? Into Lind. Ortiz loses out possession for Wilkins, the fullback, but he's done quite well to win it back. Wide area, gets tackled by Oral. Now Wilkins again, long ball forward, should be recovered. No one challenges Pereira though, which is disappointing. Martinez comes forward on halfway for Norwich, working his way from one side to the other unchallenged. Ainsley, left-hand side, now's where we have to be careful. Fontana does very well to win the ball back in a good area. Esteban, ball over the top for the overlapping Barbosa. He's got a lot of work to do and a bit of distance to run, and it's a good save from Flavio in the Norwich goal. Went hard and low to the left-hand side of the keeper. Can't complain about the attempt at the finish. Peacock with corner, near post towards Warburton, had the opportunity to try and get something on target against his old club. But it was well and truly over, but let's not lie. Through half-time now, or we're nearly through half-time, 4 minutes eventually added on at the end of that first half. Martinez, the right winger, picked up a late injury for Norwich. I'm not sure if that'll throw them off a little bit. But 8 shots, 4 on target, 46% possession for Isle of Man. 3 shots, 2 on target, 54% for Norwich. Assertively, I'm going to say we're not doing badly. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. And it hasn't had quite the desired effect. So I'm just going to assertively tell everyone that there's a lot more to come from them, and I believe they've got what it takes, and everyone seems to have responded positively, which is great. But really, we need to start putting our foot down, and if the longer this game goes, the longer we go without finding the back of the net, I think the more nervy it's going to be, not just for me, but for the playing group as well. We have got a highlight here from kickoff. Worked it nicely out to Carlos Andre. Now back to Warburton. They're sending a few men forward for the press. Ball forward is poor. Thankfully, it's a poor clearance header as well. Falls to Barbosa, who gets the strike away. A wonderful goal from the Brazilian. 7th goal of the season for Barbosa. Not a player that we thought was going to be in the starting lineup at the start of the season, but Osorio's struggle, I guess, to develop and to get into the starting 11 has helped us quite a bit. Barbosa gets to the top of the 18-yard box. It's an excellent strike. A lot of pace on it. Keeper maybe could have done a little bit better. Maybe I'd be frustrated if we had to let that one in. But I did say we need to try and find an early goal, and thankfully our Mercurial Brazilian has found it. Cut back there for Rivera, and it's a good save again from Flavio before Marcos Antonio scrambles it away for Norwich. If we get a second goal here, I think that's really going to ease pressure. Ortiz with the ball in towards Rivera, but Flavio again comes out and claims. He's had a decent game, has the Norwich keeper. Throwing out left-hand side, Carlos Andre finds Henry. Reverse pass to Ortiz, skips past one challenge and a second and gets a strike away. Peacock tries to keep the ball in, but Pereira gets it away for Norwich. They've, I think, changed their shape. They've gone to 2 up top in like a 3-4-1-2 sort of shape, which seems to be giving us a bit more space in wide areas, which is good. We're through the hour mark now. We're going to hit pause. Ortiz has got that knock, which we have to be careful of. I'm going to bring on Jimmy Winter, and we'll play him as an inverted winger on support. He can cut inside a little bit more. Peacock struggling, Fontana struggling as well. Maybe we'll take off Fontana and play Berber just for the last half an hour. Tell them we've got faith in them, and then I'm also going to use a get creative shout. There's a lot of space in those wide areas. If Berber can come on and perform well, we seem to be getting a whole bunch of space on this right-hand side. He has taken that throw into Barbosa. Cut back to Peacock. Cut back again to Lind at the edge of the area. Doesn't score a lot of goals, but that one he has slammed home. Only second goal on the season for his debut year with the club. And it was an excellent finish. We're going to check it out here in 3 dimensions. Barbosa does quite well. Just works a nice little triangle with Peacock. Peacock drags the man, and then Lind has all the time in the world really to get across, pick a good spot, and then rifles it with his right foot, smashes it into the top corner. Again, maybe Flavio's position could have been a little bit better, but he has had a good game, and it did have a fair bit of pace on it. Highlight here starts on the right-hand side. Peacock back to Lind. Now, lost possession, but Esteban recovers well for us. Now, Berber. Esteban, Henri, ball over the top for Rivera. Can he find the back of the net, get back into some goal-scoring form? Again, he just screws it just past the far post. Really just had to get that one on target. I think he would have found the back of the net. Peacock with a wide free kick towards back stick. It's pinballing around, and Lind's got a second. He had 1 goal for the season going into this match, and he's added 2 to his tally. And maybe for him, just playing him that little bit further forward, that deep line support role, instead of deep line defend, is helping him getting into advantageous positions. Good header back across from Barbosa. He adds an assist to his opening goal, and then a good finish from Lind as well. Getting towards the 80th minute, we will look to make 1 more sub before the game finishes up. Winter plays it to Henri. Good overlapping run from Andre. Henri, of course, finds him, as he so often does. Winter squares it back to Rivera. That might have been the opportunity for him to find his goal. Ball cleared, and it comes back to Warburton. Got an immediate highlight here, continuing again. Henri, out wide right to Peacock. Please find Rivera. Find him in the middle. Let him get the tap in, and then Peacock beats a man and puts it straight at Flavio. We need to try and get Rivera scoring. Lind, now with Berber, who has been busy since he came on. He's done quite well with the opportunity. Ball over the top now to Peacock. Wide right area. Please don't shoot. Instead he shoots and he drives it past the far post. We need to try and find Rivera. A goal for Rivera. There's 10 minutes remaining. We're going to make that last sub. Saying Rivera hasn't played particularly well. Maybe we bring on Mbungu. Yeah, we'll do it. Assertively, I've got faith in you. Again, his development's being a little bit stifled by the fact we're not playing him that much. We're going to use a demand more shout as well with about 10 minutes remaining, including additional time. Ball back to Orel here for Norwich. Mbungu plays the press. Now Barbosa comes to support. They work it out left to Marcos Antonio. They don't seem to know what direction they're heading with this 3 at the back system. Ball out left down to Ainsley, who is probably their biggest goal-scoring threat. Backstick ball to Palmer, and they have pulled one back. Second goal of the season for Adrian Palmer. It would have been nice to get that clean sheet. But I guess now we just really need to focus on keeping our shape, keeping our structure, and closing out the win. You remember last game I was talking about us trying to score 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. They've got to score 2 to try and get points in this one, and I'm a bit more confident that they have the ability at the moment. We're not in a great run of form. Should I switch back to positive? Oh no, we are seemingly getting through the time relatively quickly. 5 minutes of additional time now. Ball with Henri from the throw-in. Gets to the edge of the area. Might go the strike himself. Wasn't a bad effort. Was curling back, but Flavio with a good save and holds. We try and squeeze in one more, get creative shout. Any late highlights here? We're through 95 minutes now. Referee calls full time. In the end, 24 shots, 13 on target, 53% possession, 5 shots, 4 on target, 47% of the ball for Norwich. Passionately will say, very pleased with the result in your performance. Good to get back to winning ways, and that's really what we need going into this very busy March period. Where's that put us in the table? Back up in the 7th spot. Effectively, we're at the same spot where we started the episode. Tottenham won their game by the looks of things. They beat Arsenal 3-2 in the North London derby. Newcastle could only manage a draw, so we continue to leapfrog them. And we are within 2 points of Arsenal and 5 points of Liverpool in that last Champions League spot. So still we've got a whole bunch to play for. And thankfully, as we spoke about, we do have a decent run of games. Lind lifts us into UEFA Europa Conference League reckoning. David Lind, 9.1 match rating. I don't know why I say David. It's David. David Lind. He's English. We're going to give him a bit of praise as well. Telling him he was superb in front of goal last time out. And maybe that little tactical adjustment, moving to this more possession-based style, away from the tiki-taka for a little bit, has helped us. Ortiz has got a knock. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We don't have much depth in terms of left midfielders. But then looking forward, we have quite a bit of football coming up in March. I think what we might do is we might just play the game against Southampton off screen, and we might come back and do the matches against, or we might do the Europa League knockout ties. So we'll have a Swansea game in the middle of that kind of sandwiched in there. I think Blackburn, Newcastle and Fulham are all winnable matches. but we really want to try and get our first knockout round appearance in Europe brought to you in an episode. We don't know who we're playing yet. Maybe we'll try and bring you that as part of the next episode as well. But you'll have to tune in tomorrow, see how we get on. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is the part that I appreciate the most. If you want to go that little bit further, do that extra little bit just to help support the channel, to help it continue to grow, you can drop a like in this video. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to release all the way out to FM21. We're not taking any breaks. We're going to try and keep going Monday to Friday, all the way to the release of the new game. More than anything though, guys, I just appreciate you all watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.